Hello everyone, let's talk about verbal wishes, wishes you talk about with your loved ones, and written wishes when you actually sit down, hopefully with an attorney, to make it official through an estate plan. And I could talk about this all day, but I'm gonna use just some examples to give you an idea about the significant consequences of not having something in writing but just talking about things. So let's start with funeral arrangements. Oftentimes I ask my clients, okay, what's the plan? Have you talked to your family? Many times people don't talk to their family, to their loved ones about what they want to happen when they pass, not even to their spouse. And that can cause a big problem for the family. Again, some of the difference between verbal and written can pull the family apart. Let me give you an example. Let's say you are at a second marriage situation and your spouse says, oh no, they told me they want to be buried, but then your kids from a previous marriage or your siblings or your parents say, oh no, they always wanted to be cremated. So what happens then? I've seen it happen. People have to go to court in order to determine who has the authority to make that decision. It can be very expensive, very stressful. People grieve differently. So please consider writing your wishes down and having an estate plan in place, maybe in a will, or having a designated person to make those arrangements. Even better, please consider pre-planning and prepaying with a funeral home or with an agent who does these kinds of arrangements. Let's talk about distribution, because I see this all the time in my probate part of the practice. Oftentimes people add kids to a bank account, or they leave property to one person, and then they say, oh, I talked to them about it, this is what they're going to do. What happens if they don't? Again, it can be devastating for the family. Let's use an example. Dad has a significant bank account, adds daughter to the bank account as a joint owner with clear verbal instructions. Hey daughter, you pay my funeral, you pay my creditors, you do this, and then you split with the grandkids or something like that. And then dad dies, daughter just gets a check. That's it. Daughter doesn't have to pay for funeral, doesn't have to do any of the things that she talked to dad about it. Maybe daughter doesn't want to because she doesn't like the grandkids. Maybe daughter doesn't remember exactly what it was, or there's no way to enforce that. Please don't put your family through this, because again, it can pull the family apart, and that's not what you want, I'm sure. Let's talk about also a big one that I see a lot recently is the right to live. Let's say grandma has a grandson living with her, taking care of her, and she wants that upon her death that the grandson be able to live there for a certain amount of time, or maybe forever, or maybe get the house or something like that, but there's nothing in writing. So then when grandma dies, if there's nothing in writing, and we're talking about real property, probate will have to be filed. If there is nothing in writing, no will at least, the law dictates who gets what, and the grandson may or may not be entitled to that. So the grandson will have to move. It can be devastating for that heir, because they spend maybe the last few years taking care of grandma, or they are certain that they're going to get the house, and that's not the case. Please don't rely on they're going to do the right thing. I trust them to do the right thing. Another example I use all the time is, imagine talking to your daughter, hey daughter, this is what I want to happen, and you fully trust your daughter, and the daughter fully wants to do what you want to do, but then they either have a big creditor at that time, I don't know, they have a big debt coming up, or their daughter's spouse says, no, you don't have to do that, don't do that. So then what happens? Daughter is made to choose between your wishes and then her spouse's wishes, and then what happens? They have to pick one or the other, which can be devastating. It's not fair. It's not fair for anyone to have verbal wishes that do not have the support in the law, that are not supported by written wishes, to make sure that it happens that way. I hope this video helped. Again, I could talk about this forever, but please check our other videos. They have lots of information of some of the examples I gave out today. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.